I love what Poppy's doing. It's just so cool. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. It's good to see you. I was held up otherwise this past week. Didn't post a video because I got terribly sick. I spent the Easter weekend cuddling my super cute 6-month-old baby nephew, and he infected me with what I'm guessing was norovirus or a stomach flu or something in that vein, because I got so sick. Yeah, I will spare you the details on what my week was like, but I think you can imagine. I was not in any kind of state to record new videos, let alone edit them too. So I skipped one. It's definitely been a bit of like a hard couple weeks, to be honest. Just been going up and down with health stuff quite a bit, so it's been a little harder managing everything while also managing, you know, my studio and the work I'm doing for that, as well as teaching my first ever workshop in person here in my space, which was so much fun and just very insightful. And I'm also going to be offering them online as well. They're writing courses about writing character-driven tension. And so it's basically a deep dive into any type of writing that is focusing on like character-driven stories rather than plot-driven stories. That's something that actually I don't really get to talk about too much on the channel here, because we do more so like talking about cinematography and the videography of like what goes into making a film technically. But I'm also very much a writer, and so I've been sort of thinking, like, trying to figure out what that might look like here on the channel, because I'd love to actually talk more about writing as well, because the technical side of films can be so good, but if the writing doesn't hold up, we always sort of fall off the train, right? Like, I always know that when people exit the theater, the first thing they talk about is the story rather than, ooh, did you see that shot? You know what I mean? So it's like writing is such a vital part to any type of film. It's where most stories get born, right? So it's something I really want to get into more here on the channel as well. So your suggestions are very welcome. That's my preamble for today. Today I'm going to be taking a look at Poppy's Time Will Tell. I've loved Poppy's videos, you know, up until now, and they always look pretty spectacular, so I was pretty sure that this was going to be another good one. Really looking forward to checking it out. So, in case you are new here, my name is Manon the Reeper. I'm a filmmaker, and I mostly write and make films within the horror and science fiction genres. I also do a lot of experimental stuff, and I'm teaching, and I am based in Rotterdam, the Netherlands, where I now also have a physical studio, which has been so much fun. You can actually find me on Patreon as well, where you can find more of my work as well as behind the scenes and kind of keep track more of what's going on in my life. Before I ramble on too long, let's just dive into the video, shall we?
It's never gonna leave you now, 'cause time will tell if violence follows you too. Posture sustains, I undo what the stitches have done. Tell me, has it all been worth the pain? Why do all the crooks keep calling me home? I open my lungs, rid all the smoke of what never was. I've become a elastic force to change. I
Oh, I love what Poppy's doing. It's just so cool. And I think she is just sort of in a league of her own in a way where she's just like really created her own sound and vibe and kind of this thing that's sort of new metal, but because we are not really used to having a girly girl, if that makes sense, sort of in that role, even though we had Evanescence, who was like Amy Lee, clearly was such an inspiration for her. We've seen some of the other one with Courtney LaPlante and actually Amy Lee that they did together. It's like I love the sort of homage, and there was definitely also a bit of like a Korn sound to this, which I really liked. It's so much fun, and to me it's just so enjoyable that this is what we get now. It's like, yeah, good stuff happening in the metal scene, in my opinion. So really, really cool. The video didn't really have as much of a story as I was hoping, which we honestly, like in some of our other videos that were really visual, it wasn't necessarily a story either, but there was more for me to deconstruct. But I'm still gonna go dive in and sort of like tell you about what they did. And there were a couple setups that were really interesting. I really liked the song is called Time Will Tell, so it was definitely sort of with the clocks and felt very Salvador Dali inspired to me, actually, with a little bit of surrealism in that they didn't melt, so it wasn't too literal, but it was definitely there, and I thought that was really fun. So let's go take a look. All right, so let's start at the very beginning. This is the opening shot where we actually cut back and forth to throughout the video. So really beautiful kind of setup here. Really like this hallway that she's in. I'm a little unclear on how much of this set they actually built, because it looks like she's walking through it, but it could also very well be that she was just in front of a green screen and they built everything around her sort of in VFX. Either way, I really like the lighting in any case, because it does really make it feel like she's actually in this space, if she wasn't. If that makes sense. I'm fairly sure it was all green screen just because of the various spaces that we see her in. But it's definitely pretty good. Then we cut to the band for the first time here, where we see them positioned on this clock, which is really cool. Again, I think what you can imagine here is that they built the actual set that they're standing on. So this clock thing, they definitely built and put the band on. We have quite a bit of lights here that you can see in the shadows. So we have lights from back here, not as many from this side, pointing at them, and you can tell because their faces are practically invisible. So they really lit them as outlines, which is a very interesting choice. Normally we prefer lighting the faces so we can actually see the band, but here they chose not to, and I thought that was quite a cool choice. Then we have this clock in the background and everything else here, which I'm fairly sure was green screen, and that was added in post. Very cool background. Really love the look of these clocks, and also wanted to point out some of the color grading here, which is kind of what carries this video throughout. Is it's very blue toned. We have a lot of blues and sort of tealish blues, and teal is my favorite color, so obviously I really like this quite a bit, just by default. And you will often see teal tones that are present through music videos, and they're contrasted with orange and orangey yellow tones because that's the complementary color. And because the clocks here are all sort of like gold, copper toned here and there, as well as like the cogs here are a little bit more copper toned, I thought that went so well with actually the cymbals here on the drum kit. It was a nice touch somehow, and that really matched, because it's like the only bit of color that isn't like completely bluish. So thought that worked really, really well. You'll see, I'll point it out a couple more times, but the color grading was very nice. Again, like we had a lot of shots here in the opening that were very dark. Poppy was also quite hard to see sometimes. Really loved this shot in particular. Also, we see this close-up quite a few times throughout the video. Again, with the clock in the background, which has that nice sort of coppery tone to it, which is contrasted with like all of the blue and tealish highlights that we have here and there. she's lit from the top right of her here, as well as I think we have a little bit of a light here on the right as well, which is casting this really beautiful outline on her. So a hair light and a key light here in the front. Beautiful, almost painter-like, composition of light here. Very nice. Makes her face really stand out. And then this set here also very clearly, like it's definitely a VFX world here. It's possible that on the set they actually put down a little bit of this leaves and other debris here to kind of make it feel like she's actually in the set. We have the floating clocks here as well. Again, it's really nice. It's just so bluish with the floating clocks, which have the copper tones. Really love the lighting. And I like her costumes as well. The costumes and makeup are just very on point. I love that she's wearing this white dress, and then in the other shot, she's wearing a black dress. It fits with the tone of the rest of the video as well, so they definitely put some thoughts into the costuming as well. Yeah, so just really lovely soft lighting here as well. They definitely did a couple of setups with the light to adjust for the several angles that they did on this set here. So this is the other setup in this hallway that we also open on, but here she's fully in black and definitely quite hard to see just overall. And we have these flashing lights, which are so cool. Well, here the lighting, she's lit by this one light, and we see her in full. So it's just nice dynamics. They had a wind machine going to create more movement, because otherwise it can be a little bit static to just have someone on a set. And also, like, you'll add a wind machine to make it feel as if she's actually in a moving, living, breathing space. And then we also have her with this really interesting shot here where we transition to sort of, I'll call them the portals. I feel like that would be our third setup. There's basically three setups, one in the big hallway, one in the clock space, like where the clocks are floating, and then we have the portal space. And here, this is what I meant with a really beautiful teal lighting, where her face, like this light is definitely like set from below, because we have the highlights here and here in her neck. And again, very nice painting with light. We have a flash, and she is basically transported here, where here this frame, this shot here is cloned, and we see it multiple times, which I think is a really cool touch and definitely adds to that sort of surrealist sci-fi character of the video. Really cool. I feel like they positioned her in front of like a frame with some sort of like smoke machine thing going on here with some nice lighting, which definitely gave it this really cool effect. I wonder sort of what the story pitch was here. Like, where is she? What is the space in the story? Obviously, she's talking about time will tell. I wonder if maybe the director pitched a little bit more in terms of story. Like, I definitely love the vibe of this hallway. It's so sort of creepy and desolate. Very, very nice. And then we just see the same things, and we see like different camera motions and different angles. And so we have them from the top here. So they actually either had a crane that they rigged the camera on to point it downwards, or they had some sort of other construction to rig this heavy as hell camera on. Like, often they're like, with all of the thingamajigs, rigged on it, they can be like anywhere between up to like 10 kilos, if not more. Like, they're very heavy units, cinema cameras, and so you need like a proper construction to rig those. So it's cool to see, and also definitely you can again sort of see what I was talking about here. So we have the really beautiful light, the very blue toned shadows here, and the mid-tones are very blue toned, and then some of the highlights and the warm tones come from the symbols, and you see here a little bit of the same color in the background as well. So that's definitely like what I meant. Oh, it does look like they're a bit like on clouds, and it's fun to see that they're actually rotating it as if it's a clock, now that I'm seeing it in slow motion. Yeah, that's cool. So it's just going through all of these different shots with different movement, different angles, and she's performing for the camera, which is pretty cool. I love her harsh vocals. It just, in my opinion, adds so much to the song. It just gives it that edge that it needed. And also it's what makes her stand out so much. A little bit of an easy breezier one. I really like this one. Beautiful colors, just really nice costumes. Really like the VFX here. Very interesting sort of atmosphere-scape that they created. Very much enjoyed it. Yeah. Let me know your thoughts in the comments and whether you like the song and anything else you might want to add or have questions about. Let me know. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to follow along for more. Like the video so we can reach more people. Check me out on Patreon if that's something you're interested in. And I hope to see you for the next one. Peace.